Good morning, my friends. Today is our first lesson in text structure. So get your purple packet and get ready. Pause this video if you need to. All right, here we go. Text structure. Today we are going to talk about chronological order. Chrono means time or the way things happen. So chronological order means that something that happens in a time sequence. If you were going to take your life and put it in chronological order, you would start with your birth and then you would move up. Age 1, age 2, age 3, age 4. You wouldn't start with birth and then jump to age 8 and then go back to age 2 and then go forward to age 4. Okay, that doesn't let people see the chronological order. So chronological order means that you start at the beginning and you go in an order that makes sense. Now, the purpose of writing with chronological order is it tells the order in which events occur in a text. Okay, this makes it easy for the reader to understand what's happening. If the writer is jumping from time to time and back and forth, it's hard for the reader to get in their mind what happened first, second, third. Okay? Now, there are some clues in the text that tell you that the writing is chronological order. You might hear the words first, next, then, last. It might talk about years. You might see years in the writing. You might see numbers to show the order of things. Okay, so those are some of the things that you're going to look for chronological order. Now, think about Stout-Hearted 7. Stout-Hearted 7 is going in chronological order. They're starting in Missouri, and we get their journey through time. Okay, sometimes the thinking goes back, but the actual time is moving forward. It would be really confusing if it talked about them being in Walla Walla and Mama and Papa having passed away if we didn't even know that that happened on the trail. So chronological order is very important. So today we are going to look at chronological order, and we're going to read about a lady named Sojourner Truth, and then we're going to put her life in chronological order. Okay? So follow along as I read it to you. If you want to pause and read it yourself, that's fine. If you want to listen to me read, here we go. Chronological order. Sojourner Truth, fighter for freedom. Like many slaves, Sojourner Truth spent much of her young life unable to read or write. At the age of 30, Sojourner already had 5 children. Although her master promised her freedom, he changed his mind. At this point, she decided to run away to New York. While there, she earned money as a maid and cook. Sojourner was much happier, but she wanted more. As time passed, she felt a calling. Sojourner left New York at the age of 46 to go on a lifelong trip. She left with a bag of clothes and 25 cents. She would go on to give speeches for freedom and against slavery for more than 30 years. She also went to the country's first meeting on women's rights. President Lincoln was so impressed with Sojourner that he invited her to the White House. That's Lincoln. Whether it was her singing gospels in Dutch, quick wit, her tall appearance, or her deep voice, Sojourner stood apart from the rest. Crowds followed her on her travels through 21 states. She funded her travels by selling her life story. All right, now I want you to pause this video, and I want you to get a piece of paper, something that you can write with, or you can just get a pencil and you can actually mark it on here. Okay? What I want you to do is I want you to think of 5 main things that happened and the order in which they happened. Okay? So 5 main things about Sojourner Truth that we can add to our chronological order down here. We're going to actually use a timeline. So what 5 things about her life would you put on her timeline? Pause the video. Welcome back. All right, now you are totally welcome to use your 5 items. You just need to make sure that it goes from when she first started in the story to when she ended. Okay, so these are the 5 that I chose, and you can choose to follow mine, or you can choose to use your own that you chose. So the first one that I chose, I said, as a child, Sojourner Truth was unable to read or write. Okay, that's the first thing that I want people to know about her life. Now, we're putting it on a timeline. So this is like when she first started the story. Now, we come to this line right here. So our next part of the timeline is going to be in this box, not the one next to it, in this one. Okay? So the second thing about her life that I thought was important, and you see what you wrote for number 2, I said, her master promised freedom, but changed his mind, so she ran away to New York. Okay, that happened next. All right, now as we go through this timeline, our next one is right here. So compare your number 3. At the age of 46, she began a lifelong trip to speak against slavery. That's what I put for number 3. Is that similar to what you put? All right, here's number 4. I said, President Lincoln was so impressed with Sojourner, he invited her to the White House. That was what I wanted people to know about her in number 4. And then the last thing that I wrote about Sojourner Truth is Sojourner traveled through 21 states giving speeches and funded her travels with her life story. So people would pay her to come and talk, and that's how she was able to fund her story. Now, I have typed up all of these 5 things in a Google document, and I'm going to post it on here. So if you didn't see everything that I wrote, you can go to that Google document and write those down. Now, you are going to fill in your chronological order. Remember, starting at the beginning of her life and moving on. So if I were to mark in my story, I would mark something like this, where it says Sojourner Truth spent much of her young life unable to read or write. And that, I would say, would be number 1. So what did you mark in here, or did you write it down? How did you keep track of it? And if you want to use yours, go for it. If you want to use mine, it's on the Google document that's attached. All right, let's recap. Chronological order means the order in which something happens, and it must be from beginning and moving through, not jumping from a subject to a different subject. Okay? All right, my friends, nice job. Chronological order.